husband, Dave.
And we live in Palo Alto, California with our kids, Maya, Derek, and Ben. Our kids are absolutely the center of our world. Becoming a parent is amazing, but is also scary. When my daughter Maya was born, I tried to breastfeed her, but I realized that she was losing too much weight. I was really anxious, and I took her to the doctor regularly to make sure that she was growing and that she was okay. We know how scary it is to bring a baby home from the hospital and to not know how she's developing. We want to help ease some of those worries that every new parent has.
We have a lot of knowledge in the baby industry, but we've never sold a physical product before.
We want the Sharks because we've seen the power of what they can do for businesses, and we are absolutely thrilled to get the chance to pitch to them. Hi, my name is Ann Crady-Weiss.
And I'm her husband, Dave Weiss. And together, we're the co-founders of Hatch Baby. We are seeking $250,000 for 2.5% of our company.
Becoming a new parent is full of wonder.
And worry.
It is scary to bring a new infant home from the hospital and to blindly trust that she's developing as she should.
The biggest predictor of infant health in the early days is weight gain. Babies are checked at doctor's visits, but what about all the time in between those visits?
We're here to put parents' minds at ease. We developed the Smart Changing Pad. It's a modern redesign of the traditional diaper changing pad found in every baby nursery. It has a built-in Wi-Fi enabled scale so that you can see how much your baby weighs and tell how much you're nursing during a feeding. All of the information syncs to your smartphone. No matter who is taking care of your baby, you can check in anytime, anywhere, and be ready to share all the information that you and your pediatrician care about. And that leaves more time for the good stuff. Sharks, please join us in helping babies stay on track and parents stay sane. We welcome your questions.
Interesting, because you're right, that product's been around for a long time without any fundamental change. But do I really need to know that level of detail every time?
When I first became a mom 12 years ago, I prepared a ton, and then I brought my baby home. And I was terrified. I really wanted to breastfeed her, but why was she crying? Was she crying because she didn't have enough? Was she crying for another reason? Why was she crying? And I know now that I'm not alone. More than 90% of moms have anxiety in the first weeks. More than 2/3 of moms don't meet their own breastfeeding goals because they're worried about their supply.
How does this track any of that?
Yeah.
So the way it tracks it is before you nurse, you do your normal thing, you change your baby, you tap the feeding button, records a weight. You go and you nurse your baby, then you bring the baby back, touch the same button again, put the baby down, it'll tell you fed 2.75 ounces.
It's that sensitive a scale?
It's that sensitive a scale.
That's the primary function of Hatch Baby, is to determine how much breast milk the child's consuming.
The primary function of Hatch Baby is to reassure parents that their babies are developing as they should be, and also to make sure that moms can meet their own breastfeeding goals.
Have you sold any yet?
We have not sold any. This is in pre-production. So we launched our website last week. We're doing pre-sales in the coming weeks, and we will have product shipping to moms in the coming months.
So you've got a $10 million valuation on the pre-revenue, pre-nothing.
And we'd love to tell you why.
Oh, we want to hear it.
I bet you do.
I really want to hear this.
We are experienced entrepreneurs and executives in this industry. So I started a company that I sold to Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson has a division called Baby Center. 40 million moms worldwide use Baby Center. Dave and I met at Baby Center, and between the two of us, we ran everything consumer facing. We ran product, editorial, design, engineering, and marketing.
It is literally the place you go for answers in this space. So, you know, I have 2 young girls and 1 more on the way, and that's where you go. You're freaked out, you need an answer. You want to know what to do about this fever or that colored poop, you're going to Baby Center.
Yeah.
So you've got great experience. Sold me on that. Check.
So to go on about the valuation, the way we got to it is we went back to the same investors who funded my last company. We raised $1.7 million on a convertible note last September when this was essentially concept phase.
What makes you think it has legs?
Well, our experience from Baby Center tells us that this is a product that moms want.
There's a lot more information you want to track other than just things that are weight-based.
Absolutely, and we see the future. We see there absolutely will be a smart nursery. And
one of the things I think you've missed is that apart from just dealing with the anxiety, there's just the vanity and the geeky desire to aggregate all this data.
But I could get a sensitive scale, and I could weigh the child before and after.
Well, and I'm sure there's Bluetooth-based scales that connect to an app.
Talk about this product. Price to make it, what you're going to sell it for.
So to make it, it costs $89, and we'll sell it for $299.
Wow.
and the price is in line with other premium baby products out there.
I'm just trying to understand for the average family that makes $33,000 a year,
Right.
can I really get $250 worth of value from a scale?
Some want to pay more because this is the health and safety of their baby, but also we can look at other comparables like the stroller market. You look at, 20 years ago, strollers were a utility. We used them to push our kids around. Now they are, $500 is the minimum, and they are selling like hotcakes.
You have so much credibility in this space. It's like the analogy would be a great recording artist gets a huge hit album, and then the next album, 5 tracks suck. You just don't know.
So we disagree. I know.
Of course we disagree, but this is a scale, a $300 scale that is
You
a
could say that a Fitbit was a $100 pedometer. They're about to IPO for $1 billion, and we're backed by the same people.
The baby market, time and time again, has shown that price is not what parents are concerned with. If there's any time in your entire life that you will throw your budget out the window, it is for your baby.
How are you going to get it to market?
At first, we're exclusively selling online on our site.
And so what do you think you're going to sell in the first year?
So in the first year we forecast we're going to sell 20,000 units.
20,000 units?
What's the revenue of that?
$6 million.
You're going to go to 20,000 units first year.
We think it's a tiny fraction of 1% of the changing pad market.
It
We
is,
think
but it's optimistic.
The challenge is whether your device will win in that competition with all the other devices. I'm not buying that it is.
there is no question that there are other players in the smart baby market, but absolutely someone will win. And who would you rather make a bet on?
You know what Mike Tyson said, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I see the value, but I don't know if that's a feature of some other product or it's enough to carry it on its own. And for those reasons, I'm going out.
Past success is not always an indicator for future success.
So-
I just don't buy into this $300 changing table. I'm out.
I've been in the product arena for a very, very long time. And I do think that while people may like it and they may want to buy it, not everybody across America can afford a $300 changing table. I'm not sure it's a big enough problem where people will really stretch out of their budgets that far to buy it. And so for that reason, I'm out.
I don't think this thing is going to be as successful as you suggest because I don't think America can afford it. And for your valuation, you'd have to pretty well have everybody saying, I have to have a Hatch Baby. I think this is your third album, and it's not so good.
We do want a shark on it. I mean, we do want a
It
shark
won't
on
be
it,
me
too, so we're-
because I'm out.
4 sharks are out. Chris Sack has left.
And he's the target market. He has a child on the way.
I'm looking at this and I like Smart Nursery. I like Changing Table as a platform. I completely identify with that anxiety in the early days of bringing a kid home. The issue you're solving is a relatively short-term issue. And so what I worry about is you haven't built something that has a longevity that makes this thing necessary and indispensable to justify that kind of ticket item. I'd be very interested in the other things that go in the room, the monitoring, the temperature taking, the heart rate.
This is the opportunity to get in early before we get there.
Yeah, so I love to get in early in companies. I got into Uber at a $3 million valuation, and that's why at a $50 billion valuation, I'm feeling really good about it. But we already had cars on the road. There were users on the service. It was working. This, at the prototype stage, I think this is overvalued. I'm out.
I'm so sorry to hear that, but I do want to take one more shot. We believe in this business. We put our heart and soul into this business. We do think that we're worth $10 million, and we know that we can get the money, but the reality is we know what you guys do for companies. We want you guys. And so if valuation is a concern, we would love to find a way to be creative. Here is an idea. We raised money last September. We have $250,000 left on that note. We would love to bring you guys in on that note. We'll give you the same terms as we gave people when it was concept phase, the first money in.
What was the valuation?
Well, it's at a convertible note, so it's a $7.5 million cap. We're here to make a deal. We believe that with you guys as partners, this can get to every parent.
I'll do the $250K under the terms of the convertible note. But I want to make sure I'm on the same terms as all the other investors who lead the deal at the Series A. Is that a done deal?
Yes!
All right, congratulations, Chris.
We've heard amazing things about you. Thank you so much.
Here. Yeah. Right on, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
Good luck.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
We couldn't be happier. Chris is a new dad. We love his investment profile. We've seen what he can do to companies. He's Twitter, he's Uber, he's amazing. We're so glad to have him as a partner.
Totally.